What's happening, guys? It's Greg Spackman with Keller Williams, and today we're going to discuss the 10 important things I wish I knew before moving to Salt Lake City, Utah. I've been living here now for close to 3 years, so every year, every season, it gets a little bit different and things change. And so I want to share with you my top 10 things that I think you need to know before moving to the area. The first thing that you need to know when moving here to Salt Lake City is the weather. And weather here, we get all 4 seasons, and a true 4 seasons. I mean, we don't get where it sort of snows, it sort of doesn't snow. You get anywhere from about 12 inches to about 4 feet of snow, depending upon where you live. The closer you get to the mountains, the more snow you get. So where we live, we get about 24, 36 inches of snow. Typically, it'll snow 12 to, I don't know, maybe 20 inches in a night when it snows really, really heavy. And it does that a couple times a year here. So just know that it does that. The mountain ski resorts get a ton of snow. Every year that we've been here, they've gotten a massive amount of snow and had no issue skiing or snowboarding. This year, I went snowboarding in Park City, and they had, I want to say, like a 70-inch base when we went. So that's super cool. And I think it's even more now, but that changes. And different ski resorts around the area, we have a ton of them for you to pick from, but that's super cool to be able to take advantage of the winter time. Springtime here has been nice every year. The snow begins to melt, and sometimes it'll melt a lot faster than other times, but it's really nice. It's warmer. You're used to your 30, 40, 50 degree weather in the winter time, and then it's going to be in the 40, 50, 60, 70 degree in the spring until we hit late spring, and then it's going to warm up and be in the 80s and 90s, which will be super cool. I can't wait this year to get into much warmer weather. It feels like it's been raining a ton this year compared to last year and the other year. So we'll just see how that goes. But just know that you have that can happen here. And then summertime, it gets warm. We had 90s, hundreds. I want to say the highest we dealt with, I feel, was like 108, and that felt pretty hot. But for the most part, it was in the high 90s, low hundreds, and it was fine. Your AC works really, really good here. So just know you're going to see your air conditioning bill go up during July and August and then drop off in the rest of the year. And then your heating bill goes up in December and January and then kind of drops down from there. So those are two things that you should be aware of. You're going to see your gas bill go up and your electricity bill go up as well. So that's super cool. Fall time, we have some amazing leaf changes, or however you should word that, but the fall foliage is amazing here. Lots of different drives that you can take into the mountains to see the changing of the leaves. Like the first year here, we went on one of the paths and they had like these golden leaves, and everybody was out taking their family portraits. Super cool, tons of people. The next year, I took my wife and we went through a different drive and got to see all the multicolors. And so that's super cool that you get to go and do every year. We skipped it this year, so we'll be going again next year just to check it out and see how that goes. So that's weather, just things you need to be aware of, that we get the real 4 seasons here. So if you don't want to live with snow and cold, then Salt Lake City may not be the best place to move to, but I think you'll love it. The next thing that you need to be aware of is the home types here in Salt Lake City. And there are a ton of different floor plans. The older the home is, the different that they get. They have something called the Mormon room, which is your old school living room when you walk in the front door, where you're supposed to put some sofas and a coffee table and entertain your guests there, I guess, so that they're not in your family room. All the new homes, they all have like the standard cookie cutter, for the most part, setup that most people are asking about. However, we do have clients that like the older style, so we will definitely help you with whatever you're looking for. But the newer style is going to have like the great room with a family room and like an area for your kitchen table off to the side, that sort of layout. Some of the homes are going to have, 3 to 6, 7 floors. So they just have a ton of different floors here in Utah for the different layouts that they have, like your sunken living room or family room is an option as well, which I'm not a big fan of that style, where where you eat is up above and then you go downstairs and that's where your family room is at. But they have those here, just a ton of different layouts and floors. And one of the things that I've noticed here after living here all this time and showing more homes to people is most of the time you want your primary bedroom, master bedroom to be upstairs. So, and the reason for that is the incredible views that you're going to get of the mountains. You want to be up high to be able to take advantage of those. When we moved from Nashville, in Nashville, it was much cheaper, 15 to 20 grand on the home if the primary bedroom was upstairs versus downstairs. Everybody wanted it on the main level. Well, it made sense because there's no mountains for you to look at there, and you wanted to be on the main level. Well, so we do help people of all needs and things. So it just depends on what you're looking for. You need to let us know if where that location of the bedrooms is important to you. And then you have a ton of different basement options here. A lot of homes have basements. There are some places where it's not and the homes are built on a slab, but for the most part, they do basements here, and they are going to either be finished or unfinished, and they'll have, 1, 2, 3 bedrooms options and a, family room down there. So the layout that most people seem to be asking for is a bedroom or two downstairs and a family room, and then a full bath in the basement. So that seems to be what most people ask me about when they're looking, is they want that sort of layout and setup. So just depends. The number 3 thing that you need to be aware of when living here, and something that still gets me time to time, is how the streets are named and numbered here in Salt Lake. We use what's called the grid system. So you're going to need to know the numbers. And for me, it's a little more difficult to remember the numbers than it is to remember the letters. So like when we want to go to Sandy and go to like the Shields, it's off of a street number instead of a street name. So it's much easier to remember, I think, than the names. Everyone that's from Utah loves the grid system, and a lot of the people if you lived elsewhere they have that, then it's no problem. But it takes a little bit of getting used to, and then you can kind of figure out exactly where things are based on the north, south, and east, west numbers. Just is difficult for some people. The number 4 thing that is crucial, I think, about living here that is just how big the outdoor scene is here in Salt Lake City. The outdoors is huge. It wasn't the main reason that we made the move here. However, it is a big plus for us living here. And one of the reasons that we really like living here is all the things that you get to do in the outdoors here, from your fishing and hiking, camping, skiing, whether it's water or snow, snowboarding, snowmobiling, pretty much anything that you want to do in the outdoors that doesn't require an ocean, you can do here in Utah. The ocean is really the only thing we're missing, and our weather is incredible without the humidity. So like going camping is super nice. We're heading into that time of year where camping is super nice to go do because it's not humid and it's not going to be super hot yet. However, I will take camping in 90-degree heat over 30 degree coldness. Much easier to deal with the heat than it is the cold. The number 5 thing that you should be taking note of is just how bad our drivers are here, how poor they drive. There are a lot of accidents you're going to run into, but the biggest I think I could share with you is people running red lights. And if you haven't heard me in another video, people run red lights here like crazy. They will be anywhere from like 2 to 10 cars that'll run through a red light when it changes. So you just need to be aware and let, if you have any younger drivers in your family or household, let them know that if they're up front, they can't just punch it and go. They need to wait and make sure that everybody didn't run through the light. And that seems to be where we have a lot of the accidents. It's just people going when they shouldn't go. But the other thing you need to be aware of is on the freeway here, especially on Interstate 15, how fast people drive. You will have people doing 90, 100, 110 miles an hour on the freeway. So while most of the time that's not an issue, just you need to be aware of that. And then people here love to change from the fast lane and then get off the freeway without even signaling. They just cut across all the lanes. The number 6 thing that you need to be aware of is just how good our public transportation is here in the Salt Lake City metro area. And it's okay in Utah County and up north in Davis County, but it's pretty amazing here in Salt Lake. My son just took the track system from Daybreak up to downtown Salt Lake the other day. It's called the Red Line that he took. super cool. Now he wants to ride it again, and he wants me to go ride it and take some video, and so I can share with you guys what it's like. But it's super cool. They have multiple different colors that run around the valley. You got the red line and the blue line and the yellow line and the green line. So just know that you can get around without having to take your car, depending upon where you choose to live. So if you don't want to use your vehicle much, you can definitely drive in or ride into Salt Lake that way. So that's super cool. Then we have something called the Front Runner train, and that runs all the way from Provo all the way up into the Layton Ogden area. And then it has some stops along the way, and then you can jump off of it and take the track system around Salt Lake. Just know that you're going to have really good public transportation. And I thought it would be a negative for public transportation coming from Nashville, where it's terrible, but it's hugely positive here. So just know you have the option to use public transportation here. The number 7 thing that you need to be aware of, and it's pretty crucial about living here in Salt Lake, and that's how big of an influence the Mormon and LDS faith has on your politics in the area. Well, it doesn't seem to be a big issue for us and a lot of the clients that we've helped move here. It's just something that you need to be aware of, just how big of a foothold they have. This is, where they settled. So it's a big thing here. It shouldn't be an issue for you, but it could be. And it's just some things that you want to do some research on ahead of time. The number 8 thing that you need to be aware of when living here in Salt Lake City is just how friendly and nice people are. I've heard, coming from Nashville, they had Southern charm, Southern hospitality. So I didn't really expect people to be here as friendly and nice as they are. Well, for instance, this past Christmas time, we created a cookie cake tray that my wife made, where she cooked up a bunch of cookies and stuff, and we took them to our 2 neighbors that are next to us and dropped them off. We weren't doing it for them to give us anything, but both of them brought over these really cool things for us to share with us. So we thought that was super cool. One brought these like fried egg roll kind of things, but they weren't egg rolls, and they were super awesome. They were hot, so we ate them. And then the other people brought us this, I think it was a Cuban loaf of bread that you cook in the oven, and they went to a Cuban bakery in Sandy and got it there. So we cooked that and ate that for breakfast the next day, and that was awesome. So just know you have really nice, friendly people that are in the Salt Lake City area. The number 9 thing you need to be aware of, and this is a fun thing for living here, something we definitely were shocked at, weren't expecting it to be some big deal here, and that's all the cookie and soda companies here. And there are a ton of different cookie companies. This is where Crumble Cookies got their started their headquarters, but there's probably 7 different cookie companies here. So cookies are a huge deal here. And then the soda companies, there's like Sodalicious and a bunch of different ones of those. There's 4 or 5 different soda companies. And we were wondering what the big deal is with soda. Well, it just allows you to go get your Dr. Pepper and then put coconut and raspberry in with it. And so they have, when we went inside and checked out the place, now they make you go through the drive-through for the most part. But when we went inside, you can see they have pretty much most of the major sodas from all Coke and Pepsi products. And then they have all the mix-ins that you can see. They sell them at the grocery store, all the different ones. So you can just add whatever combination you want to your soda, and then whatever your favorite soda is. So it's just something that's fun here and something for you to try and figure out whatever your favorite cookie or soda flavors are. If you have a favorite soda flavor, share it below. I'd love to hear what that is. That leads us to number 10 thing. And we found this out a little bit when we came to Salt Lake the first time to visit. And that's what the Salt Lake City airport is. It's an amazing airport, super, super convenient to fly in and fly out of. We don't typically have any sort of weather delays in Salt Lake City. Usually they can, ice the runways or salt the runways, and then they de-ice the planes. So we normally aren't delayed due to weather. It did happen once last year to my wife where her plane got diverted up to Idaho for like this 5-hour, 6-hour delay. But for the most part, you usually don't have weather issues flying in and or out of. But the main cool thing is they have a ton of nice places for you to eat. The airport's really nice. They have a dedicated cell phone lot where it's super convenient for you to wait for picking people up. Like when we've had family fly in to Salt Lake City, I can, they can text me that they've landed, and I just chill at the car and, mess around on my phone while I'm waiting. And then they'll say, okay, so we're walking out. And then I tell them, okay, when you get to the curb, just let me know what letter and number you're at. And there's two different number places. One is for the Uber and Lyft. So when they go to B, then I know they went to the wrong place. So I have to explain very carefully, take the walkway across when you get out and then go down. But then you're in like the C letters, and then they can say, I'm at C5, and then you know right where to go to pick them up. It takes you about 30 seconds from the cell phone lot to pick them up. So that is super, super cool. And Salt Lake City is the Delta hub, I believe. So lots of different flights you can get nonstop via Delta. Other airlines, it's not so much for direct, but I can fly back to like Nashville, fly out to California, fly to Vegas and Arizona all nonstop. So just depends where you are traveling, whether you can get a nonstop. A lot of the times you can go through Phoenix or Vegas as your cut through. And I recommend not going through Denver if you can at all options. Denver seems to have massive delays all the time. So anyone flying here, I will try to tell them make sure that you get a flight that goes around that doesn't use Denver as a layover. A lot of the times when we flew through Denver, you would land and you have 20 minutes and you'd have to cut across and basically run to get to your next flight, which sucks. So just fly somewhere else when you're flying through. So hopefully these 10 things are some of the reasons you're choosing to make that move here to the Salt Lake City area. If I can help you in any way, please reach out to me, give me a call, text me, email me. Let's talk about all things Salt Lake City. See you next time.